was your Riley.
Oh, it's humongous, and it's massive, and it's amazing. And the wonderful aroma of marijuana in the air. Yes, it's legal in Canada. But I think coming to Canada has been a good thing. I think that was the right decision. Hola amigos, and welcome back to Montreal. It's a slightly cloudy Sunday afternoon right now. The sun has just come out, just as I said that. Well done weather, fantastic. And this is the second part of my series in Montreal, in addition to the one I did about 6 months ago in the winter, so you can check that playlist out up above, or possibly there, I never know which one it is. And you might be able to notice I've had a haircut since the last video, alright? Spectacular. I've been growing my hair for so long and I've just had enough of it at last, and I've also dyed it red so it kind of matches my jacket. And the hair thing is kind of a symbolic reference also to the theme of this video, which is about travel transformation and how my view of travel is changing very much. So in this video we're going to be checking out some historical areas of Montreal, i.e. Old Montreal, and also another area a little bit further to where I'm living in Little Italy. So with that in mind, let's get going. Just outside a poutine place. You can see me in the window. Fantastic. And the thing about Montreal, which you should know, is there's a hell of a lot of history here. Honestly, you know, when you think of history in terms of French, British colonialism and rule back in the day, like the 1700s, 1800s, as a result, there's so much fascinating, spectacular architecture here that feels very European for obvious reasons. It's just awesome, you know, especially Old Montreal. Yes, it's quite a touristy area, but you know, you've got trees, you've got flowers, you've got fantastic buildings of all different styles, and just like the lettering and things on buildings as well is also awesome. You know, I love architecture, so if you're an architecture geek, Montreal is the place to come. Okay, it's time to go first person perspective. I love it when I do this. So many of you have told me to come to Old Montreal, specifically to go down the side streets and see what I can find. So look at these flowers up there on the top. You've got the poutine place there. There's a Thai food place there. Wonderful. A lot of tourists, as you can see, as it is a particularly touristy area. Oh, but look at it, it's so cute. You know, look at the building there with the flowers outside and the little signs that look so European and French, you know. Again, I'm not comparing to France, but obviously there's going to be a comparison here in terms of history with France. Also down these little streets you have clothing, boutiques. There's a wonderful French word that we use in English, boutique. I imagine slightly high-end, more expensive. And the obligatory souvenir shops. So you've got like Montreal license plates, key rings, fridge magnets, the usual malarkey. Come out here and we have Restaurant City, Havana Club Rum. Those of you that are long-term viewers will remember I was in Havana about a year ago, and I did a rum tour at the Havana Club Rum place. It was spectacular. It feels like we're in Europe, right? You've got flags everywhere. Those little, I don't know what they're called, the things over the windows, the red things that, you know, you see a lot in European countries. Now, if you're wanting me to sample some food in Montreal, don't panic, because there will be a food video solely devoted to food coming up. But one thing about Montreal that I've noticed is the diversity in terms of restaurants, cuisine. So there's a gelato place behind me, Chez Psycho. Fantastic. And there's Italian places everywhere. There's a creperie there, different types of restaurants. There's Indian, Lebanese, all sorts. So as I said before, Montreal is the place to come for a gastronomical adventure. It didn't take me long to come up with that. And I've got a special guest in this video. look what I found. What is this, Mexico? Not the babies in the pram. Dog? He's not talking to me. You know you're in Old Montreal when you see these signs, like the red ones with that particular font. Stunning. We're going to go this way, up to Marche Bonseceur, which I'm probably butchering. We're remaining in first person perspective, and let's try that again. Marche Bonseceur, which is the building in the centre of the screen, the one with the silver dome. It was designed by a British architect, and it used to be the City Hall in Montreal, but now Marche, it's a market. It looks spectacular, and it's one of the most iconic buildings in Montreal, so when you look at photos and that, it's always on there. So let's take a look inside. Hello, bird. Firstly, outside, there's some places where you can get some cider, I imagine locally produced. And what we got up here? We've got maple butters, we have maple syrups. Look at the little cool glasses. You know, this is of course Canada, the home of maple syrup. Is maple syrup stored in barrels? Because look at these funky little containers. And even these ones, they're like paraffin containers or something. You know, something that I would see like white spirit in or something. So we're inside, and this really highlights the difference between like what I would expect from Mexican markets to somewhere in Canada like this. Because, you know, it's very modern. Clothing stores, jewellery, you name it. There's some great leather jackets over there. I really need a new jacket, but I must not get another one. This place is cool. You've got jewellery, as you can see, but also, remember when I was in Zacatecas and went down the mines? Amethyst, quartz, onyx, you name it. It's got all sorts of ornaments and other items that you can get. And even like a dinosaur skull up there. There's also multiple different floors here. So you have shops, you have restaurants, gallery as well, Museum of Costumes, Textiles in Quebec. I want to go up to the top because you've got the dome thing up there. Maybe there's some good views. I'm getting really hot now. I shouldn't have worn my jacket today. Might have to come off soon. Yeah, I'm on floor 2 because you press 3 on the elevator. It doesn't go that far, and 4 you can't get up there either. So basically it's just 2 floors of shops pretty much. Alright, okay, so we're going to go to another area now. Ah, look at that from the other side, amigos. Isn't it pretty? Yes, Montreal is pretty with this wonderful architecture. I'm down by the Old Port, which is a wonderful area. And Old Montreal, Ville-Marie, etc. It was the area that was first settled by the French back in the day. So Jacques Cartier, there's a big Jacques Cartier thing behind me, which is the guy that discovered Canada, the first European that came to this area. And there's the original inhabitants of Montreal, which were the Iroquians, I'm not sure. Hochelaga, which was the original like village, which has now become Montreal, that was inhabited by them, and they spoke various languages, Mohawk, Cherokee. I didn't even know they were languages. I thought Mohawk was a haircut and Cherokee was a car. So that's what travel's about, learning stuff that you had no idea about, going from completely ignorant to actually knowing stuff. And this area is really nice because even though there's a lot of tourists and stuff, you know, there's a lot of restaurants behind me, a lot of people. It's a good place to ride bikes. So if you're a bike rider, there's like a bike section, which I always get run over on. And you can stand here and listen to these guys play music, which I will show you now, which was a week ago when there was blue skies. Transformation is the word of this video, and this area completely sums it up in terms of transformation and contrast. I was on these train tracks back in December last year, and this area was completely empty for obvious reasons. It was minus 15, minus 20 Celsius. And just seeing the transformation now in the summer to an area full of activity, food stands over there, there's poutine places, cookie places, you name it. There's a big tent thing up there. And over there somewhere, you've got the Ferris wheel. Oh, lovely. But before we go, I wanted to stop up at this place. So I balanced my camera on a bin, as always. And I've got churros with caramel. They do like salted caramel, chocolate and cream, and you get like a dip as well. This is not like a Mexican churro, they're normally smaller. This is huge, and normally you don't have a dip with it. Where was I? I think it was in Coyoacan in Mexico City, where they like inject the churro with the filling. Oh, it's humongous, and it's massive, and it's amazing. You can really taste that caramel, salted caramel. I've got an audience. Niños horrible. Again. Yeah, I'm definitely hot and sweaty now. It's a little bit later, and I'm in Parc La Fontaine, which is a reasonably large park actually. I thought it would be smaller than this, in the middle of Montreal. It used to be a farm, Logan Farm, I think back in like the 1700s, and then it became a base for the British Army in the 1800s. And it's now a park. You've got monuments, you've got a lake in the middle, you've got squirrels, you've got trees. So I'm not going to lie to you, this is just a park. It's not particularly amazing, it doesn't blow me away, but I'm sure if the summer's out, you know, it'll be much nicer. And it'll be a great place to come for like picnics and stuff on a Sunday maybe. But you know, right now I'm walking along, I'm seeing ducks, I'm seeing birds, I'm seeing teenagers drinking beer at 5 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, and the wonderful aroma of marijuana in the air. Yes, it's legal in Canada, which begs the question, just because it's legal, is it acceptable? I don't know, let me know in the comments. Okay, we have planes flying over, we have squirrels climbing up trees, and we have seagulls flying in my face. But regardless of that, it's time to bring this video to a close. And this is going to be quite complex for me to explain, so bear with me, okay? We're going to go back to the transformation point, change, and the symbolism of my hair. So I've dyed my hair red and I've cut it short from the long black ponytail, and that kind of symbolises a change in me, I think, recently. I've gone from being extremely torn in relation to, should I leave Mexico, should I stay in Mexico? Do I want to travel more around the world like I used to, or do I want to travel in one country, i.e. Mexico? And also, do I see myself doing this in a year, or even do I want to? Not just YouTube, but in terms of teaching online and being location independent. But I think coming to Canada has been a good thing. I think that was the right decision, because it's kind of allowed me to refresh myself and realise that I still do have that passion for travelling elsewhere in the world, despite my love for Mexico. And I honestly feel like this is kind of like the last leg in terms of what I'm doing in relation to travelling around the world. You know, I just don't feel it's sustainable in many ways. You know, you have to sacrifice so many things in terms of friendships, relationships, health, your sanity, and I just can't do it anymore. However, change is good, change is healthy, and the thing I absolutely want to do is go back to Mexico in October, which is happening, that's a definite, and do what I did in the last couple of months. So Acapulco, San Luis, Zacatecas, travelling around Mexico, quite simply. The mistake I made earlier this year was going to Mexico City and setting up a home and thinking that just staying in a big city like that would be the solution to my problems, but it wasn't. And right now, it feels right to be travelling around Mexico. And of course, it's fluid. So my feelings and opinions will change. You know, in 6 months I might feel differently. I might want to go to Brazil or something, who knows. But also the big thing as well is that I have to think about the viewers of this channel. You guys, you know, at the end of the day, not all of you are necessarily going to want to watch videos from Istanbul or Belgrade or wherever. You might have subscribed for Mexico videos. And in the past, I've thought to myself, well, why should I stay in a country that I don't want to be in just to get views? But the difference is, I do want to be in Mexico. It's not about getting the views. It's a country I feel at home in, like I've said a million times before. So that's what's happening. I've kind of reached a point that I'm quite happy with everything that's going on at the moment. I have transformed, I have changed. So on that note, don't forget to subscribe and everything, like, comment. There's a lot more coming from Montreal, Hochelaga Maisonneuve, the Jazz Festival, Notre Dame Cathedral at night. I cannot wait for all those things. They'll be coming up soon. I can't even speak anymore. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.